There was nothing else at all in the whole world but football.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the Triple F. Thank you very much for joining me for a very much long-awaited show of the Triple F where we talked all things Arsenal. I was joined by three wonderful guests, King and Moss, who you all know from the Gooner Talk circles. They've been on many a Gooner Talk show, and also my good friend Simon, who has been on many a time on the Triple F show, who you all know from the Triple F scene. So we all got together and we had a fantastic chat, but I do apologise for the poor sort of connections that I had throughout the show, because it sometimes goes from a 4 to a 3, back to a 4 to a 3. Sometimes it's me coming out of the chat, sometimes it's King coming out of the chat. I don't know what happened, but nonetheless, we still managed to have an absolutely brilliant chat. So I'm sure you guys are all going to enjoy this. It was really good to get together with these guys and just sort of chew the fat on last season, just chew the fat on the transfers, and just go through everything that's sort of on our minds. And a lot of it, I will say, is sort of tainted with positivity. So it's really good to see where everybody is. Obviously, a lot lies on Arteta and you know, there's a lot of pressure on him this season. But seeing how pre-season has gone and seeing how things are going, it's all looking really positive. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy the chat. Thanks again for listening, and bye-bye. First question is, obviously there's been quite a bit of time since the last season had ended, and you know, so there's plenty of time for the dust to have settled. But it's good to just sort of pick your guys' brains and just find out how you felt about last season. I'll start with you, Si. I mean, can you just sort of give us your thoughts on how you felt the season went? If you're disappointed, satisfied, how are you feeling?
But I tell you, I was listening to TalkSport the other day, and the question was asked: was Arsenal's season a failure? And one guy was trying to really poke that, and I agree with the answer. The answer was no, it wasn't. Until 6 games to go, we had the chance to get the Champions League. We failed that. We failed to get over the line in the last 6 games. But even on the first day of the season, and especially after the 0-3 start, to make the Europa League, to get our young squad into Europe, and then have a chance to build on the second level of this process. No, the season was an absolute success. I don't think we're ready for the Champions League. I think this is the next step, and now it gives us a chance to keep building. So no, I'm very, very happy. I was very happy with the season. I was throwing things at the wall after the Brighton game, Southampton game, Newcastle game, but that's a young team and that's growing. So no, I think it was great. I'm happy.
What's your thoughts, King?
For me, I think I'm gonna break it down to different parts of the season. So I think the transfer window, I feel like if we would have bought the players in an earlier stage, we would have been better prepared for the season. And in the end, it could have given us that extra 3 points that we needed for Champions League. I know it's all speculation, but we could see after a few games when we were playing with our first 11 that it was really good. You know, we could see an improvement in the defense. We could see an improvement in the midfield. It was really the strikers that were struggling, but you know, even our wingers, you know, Smith-Rowe or Saka or Martinelli, they were banging in goals. Odegaard was very good as well. So I feel like after the disappointment at the start of the season, we did well. And let's remember, everybody was laughing at Arsenal. Everybody was complaining, who have they bought? What is the strategy? You know, why are they going for these players? And, you know, I think we were last after the first 3 games. So after that, you know, the pressure was onto the team, and they managed to actually handle the pressure and start winning games, start keeping clean sheets. You know, it wasn't really up until we started to have injuries when we saw a dip in form. So when we lost Thomas Partey, Kieran Tierney, and Tomiyasu, that is when we started to lose games. And if Man City lose Rodri, Cancelo, and Kyle Walker, or if Liverpool lose Fabinho, Trent, and Robertson, they're going to drop in quality. And I feel like a lot of people don't look at that aspect. Yes, you can say that we should have a bigger squad with higher quality,
Yeah, but we're building towards that,
but
aren't
we're
we?
in the
So?
top four. Exactly. And we had players like Socrates, Mustafi, Kolasniak. These players were starting for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So we've had to clear all of them kind of deadwood players first. And I feel like, as Simon said, we are now at a stage where we are now looking to get into the Champions League this season. So for me, last season it was emotionally hard to lose out the way we lost out, especially towards Spurs. But in general, it was an improvement from the season before when we finished 8th. And for me, this season is the season where I look at where I want us to finish in the top 4, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Moss, what's your thoughts on the season?
Yeah, like a year ago from now, I was getting pretty pumped. Starting to see, lead up to the season, getting Odegaard. I was like, that is the key guy. Everyone was Madison. I'm like, no. Did you not see Odegaard the last part of the year? He was transforming our side. And
well, there's Buendia at one point as well,
really
wasn't
happy
there?
with that. They're talking. I mean, and all that transpired last
Thank
season.
God we didn't
We
Yeah,
make
we
the
dodged a
right
bullet.
decision, 100% we did. And Ramsdale, I mean, that's a generational signing. I mean, you might have a goalie for another 5, 10, 15 years now because of how good he is. And people were negative about that. And no one knew Tomiyasu. No one knew these other, Sambi, and they're negative. And I was like, no, we're doing top 4. And then we lose 3 games right off the hop, like King's talking about. And it's like people making fun of us. And I'm like, come on, it's 3 games. We weren't ready. Things are biting us in the butt about, the COVID and whatnot. And to Chelsea and Man City, I mean, take it easy. And I mean, the whole season, I was saying top 4. And before the season, you can ask King, you can ask many of the guys in Discord. And people are calling me crazy. And then we get towards we're end of the season and he trims down our squad. And Arteta obviously believes in the guys he had. And to trim it down that much and not get anyone, I mean, I was like, just get one mid, just get one striker, and it might put us over the top for sure. That's all I wanted in January. Just, one key signing, and it probably would have made a difference, and they were more, obviously they had a plan like, we're getting rid of guys because we need to clear the wages deck, get ready for this year's summer transfer spending and start clearing out. And look how we're having troubles getting rid of guys now. So yeah, I was really happy. I really thought we were going to get that top 4. I was even starting to change it to top 3 because I thought Chelsea was falling apart. And it was us, we ran out of steam, lost to Brighton and Southampton and and I still thought, oh, this Newcastle could be trouble because they're on a good roll. And the Tottenham one was just, all you guys know, it was very disappointing. And when you don't have, like King said, you don't have all your guys going, when you trim down your squad, it's, even before the game, guys might be looking at who's in the starting lineup, and it's like, oh man, like we're not full go here. So I was happy. I just see that what Arteta's been doing, and you can tell on the training pitch that our young guys are just getting better and better, and that's down to him. And I mean, he gives Adu what he wants to go after, and we seem to be executing it now. So I'm happy, and now I'm back to, okay, we're going to get top 3. Toxic positivity, right? Aubameyang had a thing yesterday that he was all happy, Rafinha, Lewandowski coming in, but
he should.
I'm like,
be.
man, you're gonna be out,
Oba.
You're gonna be out of there soon.
But you know what? He's got the rest of his contract. He's going to make 300,000 a
He's
week.
got his money.
He's not the most committed player in the world. Let's face it. I mean, as long as he's getting paid. I mean, he wasn't expecting them to get Lewandowski. That has rocked his world. And if it hasn't, It should have done because he's not going to play.
Lewandowski's
He's
going
going to be
right
there.
here. And then obviously they'll go Rafinha, and then it'll be between him and Dembele, obviously.
Yeah, and then they still have Memphis, who's still there, and Dembele will play on one side, Rafinha on the other.
And they got Ansu Fati as well.
He's got to play.
He's from the academy.
Of course,
and they spend a lot of money on Ferran Torres as well. So they don't even need one.
King, does Fati play in behind, or is he a winger? Is he in behind?
He plays more on the left.
He's more left?
But he can play behind as well. But he plays more on the left.
Memphis should end up playing 10, but I don't think he'll be there.
Yeah, I think
they're trying to ship him out.
I think he'll move.
Yeah, him and Frankie. They can't afford.
Man, they have like 50 players.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine last night at my USL game here, and they must have found a rich benefactor who's just written them a check because they don't have that money.
No, you know what
I don't know where
they're selling TV rights for down the decades now. It's dodgy as hell.
They need a shirt sponsor on the back, on the sleeves, on the collar.
Stadium, Spotify spot.
No, I don't know.
They're doing everything.
Well, they're a great example of a club buying themselves out of trouble because they've just seen Real Madrid win the Champions League again. They got to do something. Yeah. They have to act.
Well, those two
otherwise
clubs,
that president will be out of a job.
Clubs, it's almost like politics, Mark. Like these presidents of the clubs run, and if they don't get new signings in, everyone, the fan base just goes after them, and they're out.
Absolutely, I was talking to a Liverpool fan last night, and about the fact the Premier League is now a 2-team league, and he was telling me that is complete bullshit, and how dare I suggest that Liverpool and Man City are going to win the league. What do you guys think about that? Are we now a 2-team league?
Wow.
Do you think it's two Champions League spots available?
They're better than everyone, but things happen too.
But I mean, for next season, do you think it's a 2-team league for next season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think still Liverpool and Man City are so far ahead of all the other teams.
You never know what happens.
So it's going to take another one or two seasons before.
Oh, Larry, your camera looks way better too, Simon.
Okay.
Look at that. Yeah, you're actually in focus now.
Can you guys hear me now? Or
we got
you clearly. You look much better.
That's good, man. That's good. I don't know what the hell's going on. Because I think you mentioned it before, King, that that sort of Mikel Arteta's, I guess, aim for next season and the club's aim for next season will be top 4 at bare minimum. I mean, do you think it's any different? Do you think that if we were to get 5th again, that if we were to miss out on Champions League, that he will essentially remain at the club? Or I mean, what's your thoughts?
I think if we miss out on Champions League next season and we don't win the Europa League and we don't win any title at all, I don't think they will sack him because they've invested so much time and money and they have so much belief in him. But I do think that if he misses out, then the season after is going to be on pressure. And if he's not careful and the match-going fans turn on him, then they might force him out like they did with Emery. So for him, he needs to reach Champions League because it won't take long until the honeymoon is over. It's only so long people will believe in a process or a project until they see, clear progress and it comes to results. When it comes to the club structure, we can see a clear progress. We can see that we are buying much better, We are getting in players at a good age. We can even see that the relationship between the club and the fans is changing to the better. And we can see that the club is more open and more willing to show what's going on in the club. And all of those stuff are great. But at the end of the day, football is a results business and it's very harsh. It's gone are the days where, Sir Alex can come in and go 5-6 years without winning a title. Those days don't exist anymore if you're a manager for a top club. So for him, I think if he misses out on Champions League, personally, I would have sacked him if he does miss out. But, everything, you have to look at the big picture as well. Like, how did he miss out? Was it
it's the context.
Decision? The context, exactly. Are we playing better? Can we see a clear progress when we are on the field? Was it that the other teams were overachieving? There are things you we can always look at. But I feel like in general, if he after his third or was it fourth season are still not taking us to the Champions League, question has to be asked.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll just go on to transfers next, Si. In your opinion, obviously we've signed Gabriel Jesus, Matt Turner, Marquinhos. You can kind of call William Saliba like a new signing, Fabio Vieira and Zinchenko. Would you be happy if we sort of called it a day in the signings there, or do you believe that we still need another signing? And how many do you think we need, and what kind of players do you think we need?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've had quite a summer on Twitter, and I shouldn't do that for my own mental health. Following all stuff. No, I think the plan is obvious. The plan has the plan had three parts. One, as King mentioned just now, it was January. It was offloading Aubameyang, offloading as much salary, and doing nothing to create the money to now buy. The way we need to do things, we need to get in and strengthen in a lot of positions. I think we've done that. And then now, of course, the last part of the process is to get money in from the people that we don't want. So everyone from Pablo Mari to Bellerin, to Torreira, they've got to go, and they've got to go quickly. I love the fact that we have Arteta. I think we wouldn't have got Jesus and Zinchenko if we were without Arteta. I don't think the Europa League would have been enough for them. I love the fact that he basically, Jesus was then texting Zinchenko to get Zinchenko in. So one led to the other.
Great
I love
business.
the signing of Marquinhos. I think Marquinhos is really smart. I love the fact as well that Edu also gave Sao Paulo $3 million when he didn't have to keep relations sweet. So the next time they have a star guy, they'll say, hey, come see us. I think Fabio Vieira is the most interesting signing we've made in a decade. Coming out of nowhere, he could be a real ace. Jesus is fantastic. I do think we're one short in the striker position. If Jesus gets an injury, we're left with Eddie leading the line. And Eddie's been okay. I like Eddie as a two. I like what I'm seeing in preseason, those two playing together. I'd be a little concerned if it was Eddie leading the line and then Balogun is we're talking about sending Balogun out on loan. No. Midfield, I think I'd love to see Tielemans in midfield. Zinchenko can play the 8 left side, but Kieran is going to get hurt. So let's be honest. He's going to play half the season at left back. I would love to see competition for Saka, and I'd love to see another striker, which is not going to happen, I don't think. But honestly, Christ, let's just pay Tielemans. Let's just get Tielemans in. If we're going to get him, let's just get him. So I think we've done. I think we've made the next step to what the plan was supposed to be. We're ready to go. There's a couple more signings, but I don't think we're going to see them until deadline day. Because Torreira's got to agree to go. Mari, Bellerin, Mainsley, all these guys, they've got to agree and they've got to go. And we've got to get probably 50, 60 million in for them. But yeah, good window so far, but there's probably one or two more to come. We're going to see who you guys think we need to strengthen or where we need to strengthen.
Moss, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, it was very well said. Simon in the more yellowy away kit there.
You can call him Simon W.
Simon from Colorado.
It's Invincibles. The Invincibles.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing
straight
today.
South of me here in Colorado, yeah. But yeah, I mean, and as what is like King said, it depends if we didn't make it. But I just think one way or another, what if we lost out in the quarters in Europa? What if we barely were 5th place, like on goal difference? They might keep around. Or if we lost in the final and we're still just barely 5th, yeah, like you said, Simon, all in context. But yeah, as far as the transfers going, well stated, Simon, about not people mention that about Arteta, that it's because of him we're getting these Man City guys. And they're both 25 years old, and that's absolutely perfect for what we needed. And yeah, and even the Marquinhos, that's Edu getting in there. That might set up some extra scouting for us down there, or something. It might benefit us in the future. It's a brilliant idea. I'm always on the, we got Edu, let's get some South Americans in, and now it's starting to happen. And but yeah, as far as what we still need, I don't know if we need too much, but it depends on the party situation. That we don't really know the full details or what might happen, but it sounds like it might be all right. Maybe like he's playing, so There's that situation, and like what Simon said as well. Xhaka, what about suspensions or hurts, or same with Party and Sambi, is he ready? I like Sambi a lot. I think King does too. I think he's got a future. Keep him around. But yeah, I don't know. Like when you say we need another striker, I mean, King can tell you who I want as striker, and he fits just like Eddie. He fits just like Jesus with the pressing, and our, Jonathan David, the Canadian. But everyone else always says, "Oh, we need a big guy. We need this." Well, maybe if you can always be pressuring, always be playing the same way, that's a benefit too. You don't have to change your strategy, and you sub players in, and it just stays the same. And with the extra subs we have, that's going to happen a lot, where we just keep pressing, so yeah, I think maybe one, and Tom Gooner Talk always says it, one wide forward that can play striker, and for me that's Cody Gakpo. I mean, he's absolutely brilliant. He's been Holland's rising star for years now. I think he'll end up getting in the World Cup squad and subbing in and maybe taking over. But he's eventually going to be a striker, just like Henry. Yeah, maybe he likes playing out wide, but he's tall. He's eventually going to be a Premier League striker. So I would like him. And
yeah, I'd love Gakpo.
I still love Tielemans, like Simon said too. I think he's a great fit for our club.
Yeah.
And yeah, if Zinchenko ends up being left back or taking over Xhaka role, I think he can do the job. You've seen him on Ukraine. He is fabulous at midfield. He was originally like a number 10, coming up with Ukraine. He was playing since 17, 18 years old on Ukraine. He's captain. He's a fantastic player. So I'm really happy we got him.
Is there any news on Jonathan David? You seem to be the one who would know more about it. Has anyone moved for him this summer though?
He wasn't happy, but he's never going to show that last year. That coach was terrible. Compared to Gaultier, that's now gone to PSG. They had the year before, and they won the league with David's goals, and he did all right in the Champions League. Right. But I think he's happier with this new coach, a Portuguese guy. I think has come in, and but there is talk that Lewandowski went, that Alphonso Davies is pumping like, hey, let's get Johnny Boy in to play for Bayern Munich. So, and they don't want to get a Ronaldo.
That'd be a good fit.
They don't want to get a Ronaldo or something like that and pay all those wages. Jonathan David barely cost anything, for wages. But yeah,
nobody wants Ronaldo though.
He might be a 40-50 million transfer fee, but yeah, it's well worth it when he's a year young.
Let's get Harry Kane
younger than Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Harry Kane number 2 now, and but yeah, there's still lots of things flying around. And when does it actually end? Like September 6th or something like that?
Well, the transfer window is 1st of September.
Yeah, there's a lot of time. So we got to try to get rid of some guys. Like, we can't have all these. We don't have the room on our roster. We got to get rid of some.
For me, that's one of the sort of great things about this transfer window, is that we're doing it the right way around. For so many transfer windows, we've been doing it the wrong way around, where we've been, trying to get the players out first and then get the players in. But I think that's, essentially the pain that we put ourselves through in January. We did that in order to get to this situation where we can get players out first. Bring players in first and then get them out afterwards.
To be honest, Kroenke saying, hey, I'm giving you the red light. Go get some of these guys,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Not the red light, the green light. Go for it, and maybe a little bit more about the Kroenkes there too, Simon, is they're getting addicted to winning.
They are very popular here because the Nuggets, they've just dumped a lot of money into the Denver Nuggets, the basketball team. The Rams, obviously, and then the Avalanche. A bunch of my in-laws are big hockey fans, so yeah, they are. These people here have no idea why I complain about the Kroenkes. I say because we are at the bottom of the pile, but now we're spending. It's all good, right?
But I have a theory. It could be wrong, but I actually now, because I used to be so against the Kroenkes.
Well, and it was correct, King, because they didn't know what they were doing, and until they had full control and got the idea of the culture and
like
everything.
the way they were running Arsenal, I was falling out in love with the club. I was
with
in a
Emery,
really bad state a couple of years ago, especially when Emery was there, and I didn't like Gazidis guy as well. I didn't like Raul. Like,
David
we were just
Luiz,
doing
that
some
made me want to
dodgy,
quit.
stuff. Yeah, and we were buying the wrong players. But what I can say now is that since they've taken over the club, when they own it 100%, their whole approach and their whole energy towards Arsenal has actually changed, and it's really since then that we've started to spend big money on transfers, and I think that this is something that will continue. I think they actually.
What do you think the key? Sorry to jump in, King, but what do you think the key driver behind that is? Do you think it's Arteta? Do you think it's Josh? I mean,
I think it's Josh. I think Josh is
Josh
is the guy in charge now. Like before, we used to see Stan barely, but it felt like before 2018, it was kind of his project, and since 2018. Josh is more involved. Josh is the one who's meeting with the Edu and Arteta. Josh is the one who's talking to the fans. Josh is the one who's doing podcasts. He's really the one that is representing KSC now when it comes to Arsenal Football Club, which is good because he seems to have another approach and
he's living there.
than
living
Stan
there.
had. So yeah, so I mean, for me, it's like what I want to see now is that if it goes well next season, what do they do? Or if it doesn't go as planned, will they be brave enough to make a hard decision? But hopefully, we continue to do well, and they continue to invest into the club, and we continue to progress. Because at the end of the day, we want to see Arsenal back challenging for titles, back in the Champions League, and we want. We want
Wednesday nights, but Wednesday afternoons for me and Simon.
I got two thoughts on the back of that. I think for me, the moment when the Kroenkes realized that they had to spend money was when the Super League idea failed. I'm convinced that they felt they didn't need. It didn't matter where we were in the league because this closed club of the Super League was going to mean no relegation, guaranteed games, guaranteed money. When that died, they realized that there was going to be a different direction that needed to be taken. And when we were 16th, I'll always remember that day. And was it December, the Christmas Day, 2020, when we had that Chelsea game? We were 16th when finally Saka and Smith Rowe played because we had injuries and we were desperate. I also think the Kroenkes. I think it's great that we're spending money now, but the Kroenkes have to realize this 150 million for the last 2 summers, which I think it will end up as, that isn't just a one-time 2-season deal. That is the price of playing this game. That is the price of success. You're going to have to turn your squad over to at least 2-3 decent players every summer, and you're going to have to spend 100 to 150 million every summer. If they suddenly drop that plan, we will be back at 8th. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
But Liverpool, now Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, you name it. If we're going to play with the big boys, they have to step up and be big owners who are going to play the game right. If they stop doing that, it's going to be back to where we were. And we can have Arteta, we can have the best manager in the world, we can have a great structure, we can have a full stadium. But the price of playing this game is 100 to 150 million every summer. If they stop that,
but net will be different.
But the thing is that will stop at a point, won't it? It will. I think Liverpool and Man City have got to a point where they were spending 150 million, let's say about 3 seasons in a row, and when you've got your squad to that level, then it's just a case of adding 1 or 2 or 3, and then just sort of keeping the engine ticking. I think that's where Arsenal are essentially getting to.
Look what they're doing though. They're now. Don't sell players for big money. Like Man City's sold us 2 good players. They've been selling guys, and Liverpool too, and they use that money and they just reinvest it with another.
Yeah, that's what we have to get better at, isn't it? Really, that's the big thing. Arsenal has to get better at selling because
our net spending will go down. But you're both right because we still need to be spending. But now, if we're planning it out, our sales will be a lot better, and the youth of our squad. And look at already, clubs are going after Gabriel. They're going after Saka. Like we'll have big sales in the future.
Yeah, I think Arsenal, I think Man City, I think I was doing the math the other day, about 110 million between selling Sterling, Zinchenko, and Jesus, and between Alvarez and Haaland, who are their two big. Well, Alvarez, Haaland, Phillips, and now Cucurella. They're probably going to spend about 160. So there's they've spent about 50 because they bought well and they sold well, and then they're buying in their players. So Man City have basically turned over their whole squad for about 50 million. And that's where we have to get to. And we're getting there. You know, we bought these young players deliberately for them to give us 3 or 4 years, get into their prime, make a decision. If they leave, we get great money. If not, we sign them on. So, yeah, we're in a much better spot. And I often say to my Liverpool and especially Manchester United fans, you don't have the guts to do what we've just done. Your club doesn't have the guts to take us all the way down to completely remake the squad. And I have huge. I mean, Simon knows I have been on that, you know, Arteta out wall for a long time. I'm still prepared to die there at some point. But right now, you know, hats off to them. They have remade the club. We're younger, we're cheaper, we're better, we're faster, etc. We've done it, and now is the season when we have to show that this young squad is able to perform. I don't know. We look at what Man U are doing. They're buying a 30-year-old Eriksen. It's not good enough. They spent double what they should for Martinez. The left back, pretty good. But Man U don't have the guts to rip it up and start again, and we did. And props to the owners and props to Edu and Arteta.
Yeah, 100%.
Like look at what they had to take. Look what they had to take to finishing 8th. All the abuse, you know, stripping it down, getting rid of Aubameyang, sticking to your principles, all so that we can have a better future. And still, we got stuff to get rid of here off this wages list here.
Yeah.
What were you saying there, King? Sorry?
For me, Man United, they don't scare me. That project doesn't scare me. Even if you look at
me neither.
Well, he's a good coach. He's got a good plan, but they're not doing the right things.
Yeah, he's got a good plan. But when you see him doing interviews and he's bigging up Maguire and they make him captain again, for me, that's the wrong direction. Like the last thing Maguire needs is more pressure. If you want him to have a good season, take off the captain band. Tell him, I believe in you, but I don't want the focus to be on you. We're going to have another captain. And you go there and you buy a proper defensive midfielder who's going to protect him. Like when he plays for England, he got Declan Rice there. He got Calvin Phillips there. They protect him. When he was playing for Leicester, they had Ndidi. They had Tillemans.
He's not going to get anything from Martinez, is he?
Protecting him. You know, you need a defensive midfielder. All the top teams have it. You know, we got Thomas Partey now. You know, Liverpool got Fabinho. City got Rodri. You know, Chelsea got Kante. But who do United get? Like McTominay. What is he going to do? it's not good enough. Yeah,
McFred.
Exactly.
McFred, that's right, McFred, yeah. I'll take a McFred with cheese.
If you're interested in coming on the show for an Under the Floodlights special to talk about your favourite player or manager, please email the FFF2021@gmail.com or DM the FFF84 on Twitter. All contact details will be in the episode description. Hope you're all keeping safe, and thanks
I've just
again
got quite an
for
interesting
listening
question
to the
back
FFF.
onto transfers for Arsenal. But I mean, we saw strong links to Locatelli and Dusan Vlahovic in previous transfer windows, and it's been revealed that neither of them really had any intention of joining Arsenal. The same could be said of Rafinha. You know, he was always holding out for a move to Barcelona, wasn't really interested in the Gunners. How concerning do you think that is for you guys? Do you think, you know, that it's a bit of a problem that we shouldn't really be going for players in that situation? Either of you, I mean, who wants to sort of answer that first?
Trust the process. Trust Edu and trust Arteta. And it's laughable. Isn't it laughable that I'm actually...
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It really is. But you know what, though? Fabio Vieira is going to turn out to be an absolute star. And we've got him at 21, 22. And that came out of nowhere.
No one saw that.
Nowhere. That makes me very happy. And think about Tomiyasu. You know, think about all of these deals where there wasn't that low level Italian journalist on Twitter saying, "Hey, there's a link." You know, I think we need to be very careful on who we fall in love with. Like Milinkovic-Savic, There's no truth to that.
That's a lot of money.
There's no truth to that. Nothing. Not at all.
The
Absolute
Italians
BS.
screw us around all the time.
Yeah, every season.
Yeah, Italian media
They
is
want
The only
Yeah.
Italians are
The way
Italians
the
are coming to Toronto, man. we have
well,
Stag
yeah,
Mafia
no, they
money.
are. Right, they are. Yeah. But like those everyone on Twitter who wants to be an ITK or someone who's has a low level, operation, they want clicks. Put Arsenal, put the name of a player, and we rush. We're just like
It's been
these
there
lemmings.
all through Wenger
Yeah,
years.
it does work.
So we would always be in Italian media that we're on this. Wenger's after this young player, after that young player, and then Chelsea and Man U start looking at them too. Yeah,
do you not think there was any interest at all for Locatelli or Vlahovic? Because I think Vlahovic there was.
I think Vlahovic it was, and it hurt us not getting anyone else.
But we didn't check with the player. We did not. We went out there and we dealt with the club, knowing that there wasn't a release clause and knowing that he probably wasn't going to come. And I think with Locatelli, he was never going to leave Italy. You know what amazes me actually today, though, the fact that Scamacca has decided to join West Ham after talking about wanting Champions League, didn't want to leave. So he wasn't wanted by PSG, and he thinks that West Ham, that must be money. They must be paying him a fortune.
That's pretty good for West
Ham. They're in the
good
conference, aren't they?
Scamacca's played in Europe before, if I'm not wrong. Didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to end up. He's going to have fun in the conference next year.
Me,
but to be close to leaving for PSG and going to West Ham, that doesn't make any sense unless they're paying him a fortune.
But for me, I do believe that we had interest in Rafinha, we had interest in Locatelli and Vlahovic, and I do believe that sometimes when you see an opportunity, you have to go and try. We tried to get Rafinha, even though we knew he wanted to go to Barca, but the club probably thought that Barca wouldn't be able to afford him, so why not try and get him? I think there was rumors that Juventus didn't have money when they were going for Locatelli, so they probably felt like, well, if Juve can't afford him, let's see if we can get him. With Vlahovic, I think the agent was clear from the beginning that he's not coming to Arsenal, but they were just trying to see if they could convince them with enough money for them to make us an option. But for me, it's normal in football. You don't get every player that you want. You don't get every player you go for. We've seen it this window. We've seen it with Man United. We've seen it with Chelsea. We even seen it with Liverpool. Liverpool wanted to get Tchouaméni, but he chose to go to Real Madrid. So it's like this happens to every big club, and it's just, for me, it's just how do you react to it and what do you do next?
Yeah, if you're an agent, you attach our name to your player, and the price is going to go up. If you want to get if you want your 5%, 10% agent's fee,
they use us to get the bids up, to get the interest up all the time. It's happened for 10, 20 years now.
Absolutely. Remember the Tassoba links a couple of weeks ago? The center back? Nothing in. I've seen nothing in that. I'm like, I just disregard it now. It's just, you can live your life way too often on Twitter, and I do in the summer, and I need to stop that.
It's hard over here, isn't it, Simon, in North America, to be able to know what is something real, what is what's bull, and cut through it. Yeah.
Apart from David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano, I don't take anything. Those are the two guys, really.
That's sensible. There's too many Twitter.
What do you think, King, about Cody Gakpo?
Yeah, I've just seen him play once, so it's like, for me, I can't really say a lot about him. What I do believe is that we need one more attacker, and for me, I would have rather go for a striker than a wide forward, and the reasons why is
I just think he will be a striker.
And I wouldn't mind if it's him. I'll take him, because for me, it's like Gabriel Jesus. If we go for another striker, he's good enough to play on the wing, and the quality won't drop.
That's our key sign.
If he plays instead of Saka, for example, there won't be a drop of quality. He might even be better, because he's so good.
What do you think about it being like what do you think about it being like a 3-5-2, and we could almost switch to that in second halves kind of thing, and Eddie and Jesus up front, either to finish off the game or if we're behind or whatever.
I think if we're chasing goals, I won't be surprised if we see Eddie and Jesus play together. They seem to have that chemistry.
Yeah, they look pretty good together.
I think that if Thomas Partey is out, we'll probably see a 3-3-4-3 or 3-5-2 with a double pivot, because I don't believe that anyone in the
Yeah.
squad is good enough to play as a lone number 6 in a 4-3-3.
Unless we get Tielemans,
except
he'd be good with Xhaka.
except Partey, so we can see like maybe a double pivot with El Neni and Tielemans, or El Neni and Xhaka, or Tielemans and
Zinchenko.
Xhaka, or Zinchenko. So yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if we see Eddie and Jesus play a lot together.
Or if we're down, all of a sudden, Eddie, you're going in at half,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see that tonight. I think one other thing to think about is because we now have Zinchenko and probably Ben White starting the season. I'm convinced that Saliba's going to start again with Gabriel. Then we're going to have Ben White playing right, Zinchenko playing left. So what we'll do is we'll drop the two centre backs and do what City does and have the inverted fullbacks. So we'll have Partey, we'll have Zinchenko to the left. Zinchenko to the left of Partey, White to the right. So we'll have a 2-3-5 when we have the ball. When we don't, those fullbacks will spread out and move back. But I think Arteta is aiming towards that kind of Pep Guardiola model of those fullbacks being able to play and just slipping inside. And if we have Zinchenko playing there, that's an amazing ball player, and same with Ben White. So yeah, I think releasing our attacking players is going to be key.
I agree. And even Saliba.
I agree, and that's why for a year I've said I was always saying Saliba is a fantastic young player. Like this time last year. And I'm like, when we get him back and everyone's like, oh, he's unproven. He doesn't want to play for us now. I'm like, you don't know that. You do not know that. And look how great a year he had. He was shutting down men.
Yeah, he's going to get more of a working over tonight, though. I mean, I think they're going to have Havertz, Sterling. Like, we get to see him, but the way he's controlled that position, the way he hits, he can hit a Saka. He can hit an Odegaard.
He's a very good athlete.
He's got a presence.
Yeah,
I mean, if we were signing a 21-year-old French center back, international player, the best player in League 1, 75 million. He's gonna. That's why I was never interested. I was never interested in Lisandro Martinez, because we already have that player. Albeit on the other side,
why can't we
have
play
that player.
back
He
three?
can also play right
Play
back.
back three studs like that. They can cover the whole
I
field.
think we will.
Yeah, I think.
Like the
I
way-
think in some games.
I think we will.
see-
But I like your idea, Simon, that our fullback, we're going to do that anyway during the game. It's just we'll have more flexibility
Yeah,
your way. Yeah.
Saliba's going to be the
And it
best
seems
center
like
back
so
in the
much
league.
fan base are always like, you got to play this style. You got to play this style. This guy's only in this spot. It's not like that in real soccer, real football. You're adaptable. You change your
And that's one thing that Arteta's been leading up to, like
yeah.
throughout his whole tenure here, is positional fluidity. Like that's why we've brought in so many players that can give us so many different positions from so many different players. Like
that's why he liked Lisandro.
But Zinchenko gives you the same sort of, apart from being able to play at centre back, or maybe he can play at centre back. You know, that's the thing with Zinchenko. He can play right back as well, and he has done, and he can play attacking midfield, like you said.
We also have Tomiyasu, who's a centre back.
I'm just making a list here between Gabriel, who can play everywhere, Jesus Gabriel, White, who can play holding mid, right back, centre back, Fabio Vieira, who can play both wings, 10, 8, Zinchenko, who can play 8, 6, left back, Saliba, who can play centre back, right back. I mean, the key for me with Arteta's signings now is exactly that. It's flexibility, versatility. Everybody could play in the case of an injury everywhere.
We won't get in trouble. We won't get in trouble with Xhaka playing left back.
Hopefully not. Never would see that again.
Oh, wasn't that terrifying? Yeah, it was terrifying seeing him slip into that left back role and watching the right winger go, okay, it's go time. No, every one of those players gives us 3 positions, which is why buying Zinchenko is significantly better than paying 60 million for a 5'9" Lisandro Martinez who's going to get eaten in the Premier League. I think the fact that we told Martinez we only wanted him to play left back, we were never going to get him. But
I think he'll play center back because
Maguire's
not
30
going to play
million
anymore.
for Zinchenko.
To be honest,
well, he needs to. The reason I wasn't keen on him is all of his statistics are all for playing for Ajax in the Dutch league against someone else.
Where they're on the ball 80% of the time. They're dominating.
100%.
And yeah, I mean, they had one good game against Erling Haaland in the Champions League I saw, but we dodged a bullet with Martinez. Zinchenko is
You'll see he'll be center back for
much
Argentina, like Mascherano was, like Cannavaro was. He's the same size. He'll do a job World Cup. But you're right, he would have struggled this first year in the Premier League.
I think so many teams are going to target him. It's a shame Burnley aren't in the Premier League anymore, because I think they would have an absolute field day with Alex Martinez.
Yeah, but looking at our last game against Everton, they look like they're going to be the new Burnley. The way they were playing.
That's true.
With your
That's true.
Yeremina, what's it called?
I think Lampard's the first to get the sack, though. Like, I'm putting money on it now. I think Lampard's the first to go.
He's not good.
No, he's bad. He's bad. He's really bad.
He's not.
He's awful, honestly. He's one of them guys who he's lucky to have a name in football. It's not about his ability.
And his dad was a good coach, so they assume he would be.
Yeah. I always call him, he's the Tim Sherwood of Chelsea. And when it comes to managers, he's just, he's so bad.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, talk about the luckiest man to get a job. He got a job in Chelsea because of who he was, and then for some reason Everton thought, "Wait, this guy's."
What surprises me the most is that Everton haven't woken up about this.
No, but I think the problem with Everton is because they don't have any money, so no quality manager would want to join them because you can't buy the players you need to buy.
They've barely done anything in the summer, have they?
They don't have any money.
And they sold their
just free transfers as well.
Striker to Tottenham, which was insane. They really must need
Everton.
Money.
Are they going to afford him?
They are in trouble with them, and that's why last
maybe
year
loan. Then he can't play.
I think they only bought what was he called? That player, Demari Gray, for like $3 million, and this year. They don't have money, because they've broken the rules. They've spent a lot of money on players like Iwobi.
If they went down, they might not ever come back.
If they went down,
wow. Yeah, would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like Schalke. In the Bundesliga, they were essentially Bundesliga giants, and you can't just take it for granted that you're guaranteed top flight football. If you make mistakes and you make mistakes at board level, it will come back to haunt you. And I think that's exactly what's happening with Everton now. They've made a lot of big mistakes at board level, and I think they're paying for it now. And I'd love for them to go down. I think that sort of cocky arrogance.
New owners, but look at them where they now.
The championship's tough, man.
Yeah, look, just ask Leeds United. I mean, it took them ages to get back.
Like 20 years.
Wednesday, Charlton, they haven't been ever back.
No, absolutely.
Look at Nottingham Forest. I mean, it took them how many years?
Yeah.
Finally back,
Nottingham Forest is money. They're desperate to try to stay up. They bought a lot. They bought
as well. I was so shocked to see Lingard go to Forest. That's a pretty decent move.
Yeah.
1 year contract. 1 year contract. He's probably going to come to the MLS or go to Saudi Arabia after that.
If he doesn't rip it up,
he's not making enough money.
Yeah, he's going for the money, isn't
he? He made a mistake.
What do you think about West Ham? You were trashing Hammers earlier. What do you think about Scamacca, Antonio? That'll be a pretty good.
They're looking at getting Kostic as well, aren't they, from Leverkusen?
Yeah, Kostic was the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
That's a nice signing.
They need players. West Ham last season, if they had a better squad, they would have secured Europa League.
They ran out of juice
won that tournament as well, but they ran out of juice. And Premier League is hard now in that bracket 6 to 10 because you got teams like Crystal Palace who are trying to step up. You got teams like Aston Villa, they are trying to step up. Leicester probably trying to be better again. So Wolves is another one. So it's like if
Newcastle's going to be pushing at the top 6.
Newcastle, I was impressed with what Eddie Howe did last season. If I'm honest, he really impressed me.
And good signing so far.
Exactly. They're not buying flashy players. They are buying
not like crazy big ones, but nice fitting signing.
And I think coming back to Arsenal, that's something that we have to be wary of. The competition is just season after season improving and improving. And we can't get, we can't have like the seasons as we had in previous terms where we finished 8th. We absolutely can't do that because it will be a lot worse than 8th, I'll tell you that.
Hence why the Cronkies
Yeah,
have to
absolutely.
understand that money needs to continue to come in, even if they have to write a check. I mean, they are stratospherically wealthy. His wife is the heir to Walmart. They have more money than God, and they need to start allocating it to us because they'll realize though how much their business model is going to suffer if we don't get into Europe every year. They will
the other
start
half
to
of
realize
Walmart
that.
bought the Broncos, right? The other part of the family.
Yeah, great. Yeah, they did, unfortunately.
The Broncos.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about the Broncos. The Broncos fans are all fired up for the season, but we'll see how that goes. But I do think the Cronkies have to understand. The Cronkies have to understand that they're going to see massive losses even more if we don't have the extra income. And the only way to accumulate is to speculate. And I think the point we made earlier on about how we've done our transfer business early, that shows there's some fear. They've got to get people in. Otherwise, there's no way the Cronkies of 3 years ago would have allowed us to spend more money before we had money coming in. That's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And wait till the Inter Miami pink one comes out as well.
That might look good on you, King, the pink, but it's not going to look good on us.
No, I'm sticking with the black away kit.
I'm not buying.
We've had we've definitely won the shirt Premier League already in the off season.
We need to get rid of McCartney.
I'm not a fan of football shirt that are pink. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm a bit. I don't know. But for me, football shirt, it's black, it's white, it's red, it's yellow, blue. All this orange or green. It's not for me. Pink, purple.
These fluorescent.
Yeah, I won't see my football shirt wardrobe then, King, because I might offend you. I like a sort of bizarre football kit, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we all got different tastes. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like for me, I like this new black shirt. As soon as I can afford
it. That's fire. That's fire.
You can wear it out. Like, it's nice.
Yeah.
I love that it's so simple, but then there's so much detail to it as well. It's an absolute banger.
I don't know if have you seen, Simon? LAFC have the same thing, but it's a yellowy or gold.
Like on the Facebook Messenger that we've got the.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going for Inter Milan and LAFC, which is
American connection.
Is there any rumors over there today, King?
Over here about players in. I think Arsenal focus now is to get rid of players out, and then they're gonna go for a number 8 and for a wide play.
What was up with Torreira rushing back to Italy? Do we know?
His passport.
Oh, he had to sell his house. He had to get a passport
thing.
Yeah, Torreira is a weird one. He must have known when his passport was expiring. He doesn't want to play.
There's teams that want him, but they're all going to hold out to the end, aren't they?
So I think deadline day.
And same with Bellerin. We might end up loaning him.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal are prepared to have a busy deadline day. That's
why
Chavez
is going to
many signings in now because they know that players going to have to leave, and then
it's all going to go to
it will be business at the end of the window. I think.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be a wonderful, fun, long day.
There's rumors selling, not just loaning.
He's going to get loaned to Atalanta.
I think that'd be good.
Atalanta in.
Is it a permanent sale? Did you say, Moss?
Bring up his value
He needs
anymore.
to play.
He's bad defender. Like not like he can't.
He's not. No, it's going to be a loan, but he's not. He's not a defender. Let's just be honest. He's not a defender. Yeah. He's an overlapping wing back. He's not a traditional right back ever.
He doesn't know where he should be. That's the
problem.
He doesn't have the mind for defending.
That's the problem. But it's the same, when he gets the ball, he just runs. He doesn't think, should I pass this guy? Should I pass
He's
that?
got
He
physical
just run
skill.
with the ball until he stops. Nuno is a chaotic player, I call him.
He's a good athlete.
He's an athlete, indeed.
And Trusty, the American guy, he went to Birmingham, right?
Let's see what he does.
Yeah, that's right. From the Rapid, he won't be any good. He won't play for the team.
I think that was just a January signing to sort of appease the fans because we didn't sign anyone.
I think it was
from the Colorado Rapids.
Got a bit of money.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, no, it's an internal Cronky move, right? They get to pay themselves. Why not?
Yeah, and his value will obviously
the Glazers,
increase
though.
because he's now playing in England and in Championship. So they probably get 5 to 10 mil for him.
You get to see him. He gets showcased more. Yeah. What do you think, Simon? What did you think of Turner coming to our club?
Oh yeah. I was going to ask you. You've
very
seen
good.
him. Is he any good?
He's not. I have seen him. So let me ask you a question.
I mean,
What is
Canada beat him, but
what
we were
are the
beating him
qualities of
anyway.
Ramsdale? But what
Obviously
qualities of
playing from the
Ramsdale are we most
Playing
impressed
from the
with?
back.
Tell me the
And-
things we like about Ramsdale.
And
Because
his
let's
Yeah,
enthusiasm,
thank you.
yeah.
Forget Leno
can't
is
do
a
that.
quality keeper, but he couldn't play
He-
from the back.
Turner needs work with his feet. Yeah.
He does. Turner should go to Birmingham City and play in the outfield.
He's
No,
a great
he needs.
shot
He
stopper, though.
needs.
He's
he
a great
needs,
shot
He needs the
stopper.
confidence. If we're going to play from the back, if we're going to try to beat the low block
He
and
can't
play
do
from
it.
the back, the way that Ramsdale is very good
Yeah,
at,
he's like
he
Leno.
can't do that. So when he plays, we are going to have to play in a different way. We're going to have to do a lot more just feeding to the fullbacks and hitting down the line. We cannot start to play beautiful passes in top of the box because he's going to be a concern.
He's
Yeah,
aggressive.
good
He's
shot stopper.
He's
We'll
good
see.
in the air.
I wish
He's a good
wish
shot
I wish.
stopper, but yeah, his
Yeah.
footwork isn't good
Instead
enough.
of
But it'll get better being at Arsenal.
instead of selling
he's young.
Leno for 10 million, would you not rather keep
He's young.
him
If we
and
can get-
loan
Yeah.
Turner out?
Yeah,
Does Leno want to stay though? That's the thing.
no, we're gonna sell him.
He doesn't. Leno's done. Leno wants
He
to
has
start.
to if
And
he wants to
Leno's
be
Good
good
enough
29,
to start for a lot
which
of
is a good
teams,
age for a
Premier League.
goalkeeper.
He's a quality keeper.
Here's the thing. A lot of these players now are going to want to come to a
I think
club
one of the
and play
hardest things in
World
football
Cups.
is having a number two that's
They
you know
have to
good
be in the
enough
top window.
to be at Arsenal or good enough to be at a top quality club and want to sit on the bench at the same time. It's really difficult to get that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm upset that Tottenham.
Maybe going for that sort of
We
age
should-
profile is better. Maybe Ben Foster. Why didn't we
Great, thanks.
go for something like that?
Yeah. Well, what happened to the guy we had before?
We got all these
the season
Matt
before?
Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he was like.
Yeah, Ryan wasn't.
Yeah,
Great-
should have put the boat out, I think, to
Another
try and
one
get
of
him on a
these
permanent.
super
Because
signings.
that I completely agree, King. That was for me one of the best bits of business that we've actually done for a while. Was just having him as our number two because he was good quality enough to sort of deputise for Arsenal, but also happy enough to sit on the bench as well. And yeah, it was a shame that we weren't able to tie him down again.
He was an Arsenal fan.
Didn't you guys think it's kind of
Yeah.
weird? We took 5 keepers to America.
I understand.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now, from what I've seen, from every training video that I've seen, the drills that we are doing, we are focusing a lot on the attacks. They need them all, actually. All of them are in the training.
I can see that.
And I'm glad that we are focusing on finishing because, as we know,
and
we
Runnerson
didn't
and
score enough
Conco,
goals.
would they both get loaned? King?
Yeah.
Do you think both those guys?
Yeah,
get loaned?
they'll get loans. They can't stay and play under 21. There's no under 23 anymore, so they need to go out on loans. I'm not sure any of them will ever play senior football for Arsenal. I think 10 years ago, goalkeepers were 25, 26 before they started to play for clubs. That's now dropped a lot, and I just don't see it with Okonkwo and Heen. I haven't been that impressed by them yet.
Right, lads, I'm going to have to wrap things up, I'm afraid. But thank you so much, and apologies for all the technical issues. I'm hoping that it's turned out all right, and I'll let you all know.
Yeah, nice to
All right,
meet you,
boys.
Simon.
All right, boys. Great to meet you, boys. I will see you guys soon.
King.
Thank you so much for listening to the Triple F. If you could please drop a like on our Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, that would be massively appreciated. Hope you're all keeping safe, and thanks again for listening to the Triple F.